I used to be afraid of talking to women. I know, I said it, I used to, even guys as well, to be honest. I remember back in, what was this, like a year ago, 2024, I was in this volleyball club, and whilst I was playing volleyball, at the corner of my eye, I saw some girl who I found extremely attractive, and I wanted to talk to her. But I didn't. I kept making excuses. No, I'll finish the volleyball game first and then I'll go up and talk to her. No, she kind of seems busy. I'll do it later. No, after the club is over, then I'll do it. You know, she's not even that pretty anyways. It's fine. I kept making excuses every single time without fail. And you've probably experienced that as well. You've seen someone you wanted to talk to. Doesn't even need to be a woman, can be a guy as well. You want to talk to that person and you don't because you are afraid. That's it. Like, just cut out the bullshit, remove the excuses. You are afraid. I was afraid, you are afraid. And the reason why we feel this way, the reason why we feel this pressure, this friction, this resistance to actually go up and talk to somebody is because of media. It's because of judgment. Our brains are literally wired to be afraid of being judged by other people. Because imagine this, imagine we still have the same brain just like ages ago, millennia. So imagine 4,000 years ago, caveman human, he's in this tribe. He embarrasses himself a little bit. The tribe kind of thinks he's a little weird. What's wrong with this guy? Is he like on the spectrum? What's going on with that dude? You know what happens to that guy? He gets exiled. This caveman, he gets exiled. Now he's in this jungle and he dies. That's it. There's no like second chances. There's no maybe he survives. He dies. He embarrasses himself. He dies immediately. Our brains have literally been wired to see rejection in any way as death every single time. That's just how it is. And the entire idea of socializing is to rewire, override that internal, inane instinct so we can actually train our brains to associate rejection rather than something scary, something tantamount to death, as actually something beneficial, something that gives you experience, something funny. And I know it sounds kind of crazy. How do you do that? Well, first of all, you need to understand who's doing this to you. Because we have these instincts, of course, but there's more to it because there's people who are naturally born extremely social and some people who are born who can't talk to anyone. Why is this? Because we all have the same instinct, so there must be more to it, right? As I said before, media. The reason why some people are innately talented in their speaking skills, and this reason why some people who normally make excuses like, no, I'm an introvert, I can't talk to people, it's deeper than that. The reason why those types of people aren't gifted with talking to others is simply because they were manipulated by media, by the school system, by basically everyone, because society as a whole construct is literally being designed to program you. Yes, you, us. To program us into being these like level 0 weird like lunatics. You can't talk to people. You go to school and you're constantly told to shut up and not talk to people. That's it. You can't talk in class. If you talk in class, you get in trouble. If you talk in class, it may be reported to your parents and then you get in trouble by the people who you're meant to trust most. And even school as a whole, or like the entire system of working, it turns life into this closed environment where you see the same people every day, which isn't realistic at all because, of course, that's not real. You don't see the same people every day. So even outside of the school system, these effects leach into your everyday life, because you see this guy and you think there'll be lasting consequences, or you see this girl, you'll think there'll be consequences permanently if you go up and talk to that person. Because imagine this, if you go up to like a girl in school and you talk to her and then you get rejected, people will make fun of you. You see these people every day. It's a little bit fear inducing. If you talk to somebody on the street and get rejected, who cares? You aren't going to see that person again ever. But because you've been conditioned from school, you will always feel this fear. Your brain will always associate rejection with permanent consequence. So everything is being manipulating us. Even like movies. Like you see Spider-Man, and I keep making this example because it's very prevalent. Some loser, and he is a loser, at least in the movie. I don't know who he is in real life, I don't care. In the movie, he is a loser, and then out of nowhere, he gets this lucky opportunity, and out of nowhere, now he's suddenly a superhero without doing anything remarkable. You have been trained to believe that if you just wait, if you do nothing, if you just hope and pray and beg, and you look up and you bend over, that eventually, at some point, you'll get rewarded. Your lucky opportunity will come. From the heavens, I guess. It's all against us. Everything. Everything is being made to literally beat us up internally. So how do you kind of escape this programming? How do you rewire your brain to actually learn to talk to people and go against the grain? Well, desensitization. I did it. You just need to talk to tons of different people. That's how I got to level 3. I talked to tons of different guys, I talked to tons of different girls, and I embarrassed myself so much, bro. I made so many mistakes. But I learned, I made a mistake, and I came back stronger, and I got beat up again, and I came back stronger, and I got beat up, and I came back, and eventually, I won. That's the game. It's the game with everything. You will lose until you come back consistently, and then you win. That's it. It's desensitization. You keep doing it until eventually you get better at it. It's how everything works. It's how you learn everything, bro. If you want to learn to fight, you need to do a lot of fighting. And of course, you aren't going to be good when you start out. That's why these fight gyms are probably the best place to learn. You fight as a novice, you know nothing, you get beat up, you get some injury. If you keep coming back, despite getting hurt, despite losing, eventually you'll get better. You'll start winning more. You'll get the thrill of the hunt. Wow, now I'm winning. Before I was losing. I'm becoming a champion. It's the same thing. You keep doing it. You desensitize yourself, and eventually you'll get better. And it's not going to be instant, of course. But you will get better. And throughout my journey, there's a mindset shift that I actually came to that has significantly helped me. Because even with desensitization, without the mindset, rejection will hurt you a lot, and that's the last thing you want. I remember at one point, like this was probably a year, maybe 2 ago. I think it was a year ago. I was in the midst of my social journey. I was learning to talk to people. I was trying to learn to cold approach, and I saw this one girl. I talked to her, and it was the most brutal rejection of my life. The most brutal rejection, bro. She thought I was a creep. I was really embarrassed. It was horrible. And I messed up that approach a lot. It was my fault. I made the mistake. Because of that, I basically just had this trauma. When it came to approaching a girl, I immediately thought, oh no, but what if she thinks I'm a creep? Because these things do affect you. Rejection does affect you. Because the last thing you want is to be seen as a creep when you're actually a normal person and you've done nothing wrong. You need to have a mindset where no matter how bad rejection gets, it doesn't affect you to the point where you do the same thing I did, which is you get traumatized by this one rejection. It affects your self-worth, and then you basically quit talking to people altogether. Just because, you got rejected, it's now scary again. You need to force yourself. You need to change your brain. You literally need to change the beliefs you have currently and break them and turn them into new beliefs and write them again. And then when that happens, now when you talk to people, rather than rejection hurting you, it actually just makes you grow. The belief shift that I had, probably the most important one, is that most people are losers. Most people are losers, genuinely. I go on these social media, everyone commenting is a fucking loser. Everyone. I go in real life, I see the opinions of these people, all losers. Every single one of them. It's embarrassing. And I've come to the conclusion, these losers will judge you for approaching somebody. These are the people in your school. You're afraid to talk to that one girl because what if the people in your school offend you? They may make fun of you, poke at you. Of course, that I'm not going to lie, that may happen. But I've come to the conclusion, if these losers who literally can't even talk to women are insulting you because you talk to a girl, I would rather that happen than I don't talk to her. I would rather every single one of these fucking losers becomes my enemy. They absolutely despise me. I would rather that than all of them kind of like me, kind of don't. They don't really think about me that often. But then I'm also like this little pussy and I can't talk to people. I would much rather all of them hate me because I don't respect them. I would rather my enemies and my friends are very close cut. The losers who I don't want to associate with at all hate me. Good. I don't want them to like me. The people who I consider winners, who I actually respect, because I'm very polarizing, because I do what I want, they'll actually like you even more. So you have this divide, love and hate. That's what you want. You don't want everyone to be in the middle and it's kind of neutral. Everyone kind of likes you, kind of doesn't like you. You want to be polarizing and you want to do what you want. It's the only way to win. Everything you do, if you want to become successful at it, you need to be polarizing. People will think you're crazy for it. If you want to start a business, you need to be polarizing. You need to understand that by starting a business, people are going to doubt you. People are going to think you're an idiot. And you need to go against the grain and do it anyways. That's what you need to do. You need to just completely disregard the opinions of these losers who you don't even respect. That's the belief shift I've had. You shouldn't be afraid to make enemies with losers. You really shouldn't. You should stand up for yourself and you should do what you want. Don't be afraid of these losers. Don't be afraid of these people who you don't respect. Don't be afraid of any of them. Because think about it. Would you rather you talk to anyone you want to, you're extremely social, you're happy with your life, you're constantly improving, but then, most of the people who you don't even want to talk to, they kind of are rude, they don't really like you much? Or would you rather you're basically an NPC and nobody really knows you, nobody really cares about you, no one would really notice if you died or not, and you also aren't happy with your life, and nobody really cares that much about you, so you're always lonely, and you aren't social as well, and you aren't satisfied with your life, you have all of these negatives. Which one do you want? Become a winner or become a loser? I think for every single person watching this, they should become a winner. And of course it takes some practice. Because imagine this, it takes like an elite level of self-confidence. Honestly, trespassing into narcissism in order to think this highly of yourself to the point where you disregard the opinions of people who you don't respect. It takes a lot of confidence for that. Are you willing to do that? It depends on you. But for benefits, for the things that you want, sacrifices must be made. You can't be loved by everyone. If you are liked by everyone, then nobody loves you and nobody hates you. If you are loved by people, some people will hate you. That's just how it works. If nobody hates you, you're doing something wrong. I hope this video helped you. Check the top link in the description, the Social Protocol. It's a community that helps you learn to socialize so you can actually talk to people, so you can become more social, so you can actually make friends and build brotherhood, where you can literally make friends with people like you, who are more masculine, who are trying to improve their lives, who are trying to socialize. They aren't just like one-dimensional. They aren't people who just like want to become gym rats and they have nothing else to them. They aren't just people who want to become money. They have more goals than that. They are 3D. You can also learn to talk to people, and there are weekly calls from me. Remember, consistency is over a lifetime. Bye-bye.